We are open for dialogue. We are open for business, but we are not open for coercion.
Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. Obviously not universally popular in the United States, but are they just more effective at putting the boot into the administration than, well, the Democrats? Jim Kennedy is a former Clinton advisor and also spokesman for Sony Pictures in Hollywood. Hello to you, Jim.
Hi, good to be with you, John.
Lovely to have you here. Are you a big fan of the late shows, Jim?
I used to be, not anymore. Back in the ancient days when I was in college, my friends and I would get back to the dorm room to watch Johnny Carson. Even though it was a very partisan time with the Vietnam War, we nonetheless liked his humor, which was very bipartisan humor. Now, he may have been liberal in his personal beliefs, but he really hit both parties, much like Will Rogers did a century ago. Unfortunately, nowadays, most of the late night comedians skew to one side of the political spectrum, which I think is a mistake for the country and the culture, and is part of the divisiveness in the country. We used to look at late night TV as a unifying element for the society, and unfortunately, that's not the case now.
It's a really interesting perspective, Jim. So, would it be possible for a late night show comic and host to bridge the divide in the way that you'd ideally like to see? Because American politics and America itself, Jim, is, well, we can see from here, just so polarized.
I think there is an appetite for that, just as there is in politics in general. I know on the right side of the spectrum, you have Greg Gutfeld, although he's sort of a lonely voice in that arena. And there are some comedians who are bipartisan in their approach. I think Dave Chappelle is one of them. Bill Maher, I think, kind of hits both sides. Some of the best ones, frankly, avoid politics. I went to see Louis C.K. live in New York last month. He spent nearly 2 hours. He was hilarious, and he told one mildly political joke, and the rest of it was non-political. So you don't have to be political, but I do think there is a yearning for bipartisanship in that regard, much like Will Rogers and Johnny Carson.
And when you say bipartisan, do you mean basically going in hard on both sides? Because there's clearly, there's plenty of room to go in studs up when it comes to the administration. But equally for the Democrats, well, they're a pretty broad target to aim at as well at the moment, aren't they? Not wildly effective.
Absolutely. That's right. And that was part of the genius of both Will Rogers and Johnny Carson. I was looking up some of Will Rogers' jokes, and he said, everyone is ignorant only on different subjects. And he said the trouble with practical jokes is they often get elected. Again, that's bipartisan humor and something, because there's plenty to go around. Unfortunately, I think the late night comedians skew to one side, which is unfortunate. Gene Simmons of KISS said that celebrities should just shut up and pay attention to their own business. And that sometimes it should be the case.
Is the I don't know, the clearly partisan slant of the late night hosts in the main part, is that also a product of the Democrat Party, certainly in Washington, just maybe not being effective at all?
Well, that may be part of it. I think there's sort of a catering to your audience. Unfortunately, some of the comedians and the politicians are catering to an online audience, which is skewed in one direction. And I think they're missing the bigger picture and the bigger opportunity, both politically and comedically. I think there is an unserved audience out there who is yearning for sort of a broader perspective, both in terms of humor and politics. And frankly, neither party is delivering that to them lately.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the politics, and really quite aggressive politics, has certainly found its way into that sphere, hasn't it? We have seen the Federal Communications Commission attacking, as it were, on behalf of the president, attacking his critics on air. Is that fair?
Well, I'm not really fond of deplatforming people. I think Jimmy Kimmel should not have been suspended. It was probably the best thing that happened to him in 2025, frankly. His audience ratings went up after that, so he's probably thankful for it. But and in the UK, I know there's an effort to kind of go after people for what they say on social media. Again, I don't like the idea of government getting too involved on either side of the issue, defining, for example, what is a hate crime. One person's hate speech is another person's strongly held religious belief. So sure, you can speak up and condemn, things that are said, but not deplatform or not bring the strong arm of the government to bear on these things.
All right, Jim Kennedy, former advisor to President Clinton. Thank you. Now back with the politics. The administration in Washington has appointed a special envoy to Greenland. It's the Louisiana governor, Jeff Landry. In a media post, Landry says it was his honor to make Greenland part of the US. Denmark called that completely unacceptable and said it will call in the US ambassador for an explanation. Meanwhile, President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said the EU stands in full solidarity with Denmark and the people of Greenland. Arctic security remains a key priority for the European Union. So, I can welcome now to the show Kuno Fencker, the MP for the Naularak Party. That's the Greenland pro-independence political party. Hello to you, Kuno.
Yeah, hi. Well,
it's good to have you with us. What do you make then of the appointment of this envoy by the President Trump administration to Greenland?
well, first of all, it's a political decision that Trump has made here, and congratulations to Jeff for the position. And I will say that it's not a legal position. He's not, what do you call it? It's not the Senate. He's not an ambassador as such, but he's a political envoy. And he can do as he please, and he can have his political opinions, and that is absolutely legal. But what he must know is that we, of course, want dialogue with whoever has an interest in Greenland. And we will, of course, tell him that Greenland's right to self-determination is determined by the Greenlandic people, and we should adhere to international law in regards to that. So it's very simple. We are open for dialogue, we are open for business, but we are not open for coercion.
Not open for coercion. I think there was an opinion poll, wasn't there, in Greenland not so very long ago, which showed that 85%, I think, of Greenlanders were not interested in being part of the United States. Will this new envoy, would he be welcome in Greenland? Would he be able to perform any kind of useful function?
I think it's very important for Greenland not to be offended by any comments that's coming from the US, Denmark, or any other country. What's very important here is that we adhere to international law and that we are open for discussion and dialogue and have a decent conversation on whoever has an interest in Greenland, but always remember that Greenlandic people has the right to self-determination. And after deciding our self-determination, we can make bilateral agreements with the states that are friendly to us and have respect for us. And that is what I expect from the Trump administration. We already know since 2019 that Trump has a special way of negotiating, and there's always a lot of parameters, aspects in the way he's communicating and the way he does politics and business combined. So in 2025, we sort of know that we have to stay calm and know that it's a very special form of negotiation tactics here. So don't take everything too seriously, in my opinion, but also take it seriously that this is, in a way, good leverage for Greenland to negotiate our right to external self-determination, because we are de facto annexed by Denmark, and hence the territorial integrity of the Kingdom of Denmark can be questioned. Yeah. So this is the Greenlandic territory, in my opinion, and it should be the Greenlandic people's country and also the territory of Greenland. And Greenland should aspire to become a member of the UN as a sovereign state in cooperation with Denmark. We have a law, the Self-Rule Act. The Article 21 says that we should negotiate with Denmark initially, and we can also start having leverage if other countries have interested in helping us getting our sovereignty back.
Right. Look, so it's your ambition and your party's ambition to be independent of Denmark. How does President Trump's wish to have Greenland, how does that help that?
Well, he has if he's saying that he wants control, we don't know if it's annexing Greenland or if it's having more control militarily. So we know that Denmark has been neglecting Greenland for many years in regards to protecting and also buying equipment that is viable for the protecting of the Northern Hemisphere and Northern American continent, which is Greenland. So it is a matter of what geopolitics that is happening in the world right now. And we know that Greenland is very important also because of new shipping routes. And we know that something is going on in the sea and under the sea. So we need to have much better surveillance and also dual-use equipment to save people in Greenland if they are in need.
Yeah, well, no doubt about the strategic importance of Greenland. But for your thoughts, Kuno Fencker, who's an MP for the Nalaraq Party of Greenland. Thank you.
Thank you.